ES Audio.
Hello, I'm Mark Blunden and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, future-proofing buildings to withstand extreme heat. But first, electromagnetic explosions on the sun's surface have sparked what's described as a canyon of fire that's likely to blast Earth with 3 days of solar storms. The impact of these storms can range from disrupting radio frequencies to destabilising power grids. The phenomenon began a week ago when plasma on the sun's surface erupted, carving out a giant fiery canyon about 240,000 miles long and over 12,000 miles deep. The good news is experts say the electrically conducting plasma zaps are likely to be mild, while NASA has warned of potential weak power grid fluctuations and minor disruptions to satellite operations. Britain's leading architects are campaigning to improve building design to fight the climate crisis and cut carbon emissions in the decades ahead. The Architects Declare campaign aims to reduce the impact of construction on global warming and biodiversity.
Everything that we build, whether it's roads or bridges or buildings, houses, airports, everything contributes really massively to the climate crisis because it's such an enormous source of carbon and over such a long lifespan.
That's David Liddycote, a partner at award-winning London architecture and interior design studio, Liddycote and Goldhill.
There's an entire sort of 100-year cycle that you've got to think about when you're designing new houses. There are some really quite worrying habits that we need to break out of in terms of building mass housing. The materials they use are often very high carbon, so things like brick, concrete, and they're not designed in a way that at the end of the building's lifespan you could imagine dismantling them and reusing those materials.
So which countries can we take inspiration from to help improve comfort and heat safety for the future?
If you look at the way that traditional buildings might be built in France or Spain, in hotter areas where you would see shutters, or you'd have streets where the houses are much closer together, courtyards rather than big wide gardens.
Next, Facebook's parent company Meta is revamping the social network's main feed in a bid to tempt Gen Z users to the platform under pressure from cooler apps like TikTok. Meta executives have voiced increasing urgency in recent months to boost its Reels product, which is similar to TikTok's short video format that's attracted many younger users. Now Home, which is Facebook's main news feed, will start more heavily featuring popular posts from accounts that users do not follow, including Reels and Stories. Facebook says features will also include suggesting posts to users with its machine learning ranking system. University of Cambridge researchers have developed a way to study the first stars through the clouds of hydrogen that filled the universe after the Big Bang. It's hoped the Square Kilometre Array, which is a next-generation telescope due to be completed by the end of the decade, will be able to detect the cosmological signal of the stars through the thick hydrogen clouds.
So we cannot see directly the light from the stars, but we can see the signal re-emitted by the hydrogen clouds. So the analogy is that we are trying to infer what the landscape looks like from behind the fog, but looking at the shadows casted on those clouds of hydrogen.
That's the paper's lead author, Dr. Eloy de Lira Acido from Cambridge's Cavendish Laboratory.
It's almost 40,000 million years from now, and that signal has been traveling through the universe until it has reached us here on Earth, and we are trying to detect it now.
Their results are published in the journal Nature Astronomy. Designers at the Netherlands Technical University of Eindhoven built a prototype electric car they say doesn't cause significant environmental damage and even captures carbon dioxide on every drive that's converted into gas. It's claimed that over the lifetime of the ZEM EV vehicle, it could even suck up more CO2 than it creates. The ZEM EV is not totally carbon-free, but it is hoped the vehicle's filter could slurp up 200 miles worth of toxins. The plastic body panels are also designed to reduce waste, and excess material can be recycled for new projects. Snap has painted a grim picture of the effects of a weakening economy on social media and declined to make a forecast in incredibly challenging conditions, sending its shares down 25%. The Snapchat owner says some advertisers still face supply chain disruption and labour shortages and rising costs amid record inflation, which is leading to advertising cutbacks. Snap says revenue grew just 13% to $1.1 billion during the last quarter and also posted a quarterly net loss of $422 million compared to a $100 $152 million loss at the same time last year. Now the firm says it will slow hiring, invest in its advertising business and try to find new sources of revenue. Let's go to the ads. Stay there for more news from the world of tech and science, plus virtual clouds and mood music to help soothe Londoners of the stress of their daily commute. Why not hit rate and follow in the meantime? Welcome back. The London commute, it's been pretty hellish this last week with the extreme sticky heat. Now, a project in the West End's Tottenham Court Road aims to offer travellers a free mindfulness space, complete with virtual clouds on the ceiling and mood music to help them relax a bit.
Pixel Artworks have created this immersive experience with a backdrop of rolling clouds, a sun above your head, to guide you through this box breathing exercise.
That's Tom Birch, Pixel Artworks MD.
And this is open to all, Londoners, tourists, families, just to stop by, quite literally take a breath, breathe, and take a moment to relax.
And finally, endangered pine martens could be reintroduced to southwest England following a 150-year absence. They used to be among Britain's most common mammals, but were pushed to the brink of extinction in England. And also in Victorian times, they were shot for sport, trapped for their fur, and hunted by gamekeepers. And they disappeared from southwest England in the 1880s. Conservation organisations, including the National Trust, the Devon Wildlife Trust, and the Woodland Trust, hope the nocturnal mammals could be re-released as early as autumn 2024. You're up to date. Come back at 4 p.m. for the leader from the Evening Standard here in London, and we'll be back on Monday at 1 p.m. See you then.